Dear students, today I am going to explain about entity relationship model. This is the example for conceptual data modeling. Already in the previous class, we have discussed about different types of data models. High level or conceptual data model, physical or low level data model, implementational or representational data model. Example for high level or conceptual data model is entity relationship model. So this under this PPT, we are going to discuss about what is meant by entity, attribute, relationships, etc. So this is the outline of presentation. So we'll see that entities, attributes, relationships, and so on. So first let us define what is meant by entity relationship model. Already we told this entity relationship model is a popular high level conceptual data model. So it already we told it is a high level conceptual data model. So it describes entities, attributes, and relationships. What are the concepts it's going to define means entities, attributes, and relationships. Now we'll define what is meant by entity. Entity is the basic object that our ER model represents. That is a real world object. Okay. For example, any person, any employee, any student, any faculty, that is called as an entity. Okay. Attributes, the particular properties that describes an entity is called as an attribute. For example, if you take student as an entity, in each student it will be described by USN of the student, name of the student, date of birth, age and address, and so on. This is called as attributes. Attributes means properties or characteristics of an entity. Next, let us see what are the different types of attributes. There are 7 major classifications. We'll see one by one. First one is simple attribute. So simple attribute means the attribute is a simple one. Again, we can't divide into subparts. For example, if we'll take USN, we can't divide into subparts. Okay, and that is called a simple attribute. And composite attribute means this again it is divided into subparts. It's divisible. For example, if we take name of the student means name again we can divide into first name, middle name and last name. This is an example for composite attribute. The next one is single attribute. Single valued attribute means the attribute will take only one value. For example, if we take USN of a student means each student will be having only one USN. So that is an example for single valued attribute. If we'll take multi-valued attribute means the attribute will take more than one value. For example, if we'll take the mobile number, phone number or mobile number of a student means one student may be having more than one phone number. And if we'll take email ID, one student or faculty can be having more than one email ID. That is an example for multi-valued attribute. Next is stored versus derived attribute. The attribute which is derived from the stored attribute is called as a derived attribute. For example, if you take date of birth, that is a stored attribute. The age, if you know the date of birth, age we can derive from that. So age is called as a derived attribute. Without the stored attribute, the derived attribute won't exist. The next one is complex attribute. Complex attribute is a combination of composite and multi-valued attributes. For example, one student may be having more than one address, and in each address he may be having more than one contact number. So in that case, more than one address means address itself it is a composite attribute, because we can divide that into street number and then a city, state, pin code and so on. And then each address is having more than one contact number, that is multi-valued attribute. So combination of both is called as a complex attribute. Okay, then next let us see what is mean by entity type and entity set. Entities with the same basic attributes are grouped or typed into an entity type. So suppose for example in student entity type, student is an entity type. In that all students are sharing the common attributes, USN, name, department, and the address, and so on. So the student is an entity type. Same thing for project is an entity type. Faculty is an entity type. Next, key attributes of an entity type. If you take any entity type, there will be one attribute that will be having a unique value. Using that only we can differentiate among the entities. For example, if you take student means, all the student, the attributes are USN, name, department, date of birth, address, and so on. So that each student will be having unique USN. Using USN only we can differentiate one student with the another student. Address also may be same, name also may be same, and so on. Only USN is unique. So that USN is called as a key attribute. It will be having unique value for each entity. Next is value set or attribute of attributes, domain. That we will call it as a domain. Each simple attribute of an entity type is associated with the value set or domain of values. So which specifies the set of values the attribute is going to take. For example, age we have specified int age we have declared as an integer type, and we have specified the constraint as of age of an employee limit as some 20 to 55. So that age attribute will take the values between 20 to 55. Below less than 20 it won't take, about 55 also it won't take. So that is called as domain or value set of an attribute. Next, relationship types. So already we spoke about entities, attributes. So entity means the real world object. For example, student, faculty, all those things are entities. Attribute means the properties of an entity is called as an attribute. Next, relationship. Relationship means the association among the entity types is called as a relationship. Okay, so the relationship type that will be represented with capital R among n entity types E1, E2, En defines a set of association among entities. Okay, so for example, if we'll take student is an one entity type and faculty is an another entity type, the difference, the relationship between faculty and student is faculty teaches student. The teaches is the association or relationship between the entities and student, faculty and student. So the next is degree of a relationship type. So degree of a relationship type is the number of participating entity types. Suppose if two entity types are participating means the degree is 2. For example, the relationship between the student and faculty, that is called as that entity type faculty and student is faculty teaches student. So the teachers is the that is a relationship type with the degree 2, and the entity 3 entities are involved means in the relationship it is called as a ternary relationship. So that we can take it as an example for medicine, doctor and patient. So the relationship involved here is prescription. Doctor prescribed the medicine to the patient. So this is called as a ternary relationship. More than, that is 3 entity types are participating, 3 entities are participating in this relationship. Next is role names and recursive relationships. Each entity type that participates in a relationship types plays a particular role in the relationship. So we'll take the example of company database. In the company database, we'll take means what are the entities or objects related to company. We're having employees, department, projects, and that we can, for the explanation purpose, we have taken that dependent of an employee. The 4 entity types have been taken. The employee role will take means employee may be a worker or he may be a manager. So that is a role of an employee. Depends on the relationship, it is going to vary. The role name signifies the role that a particular entity from the entity type plays in each relationship instance and helps to explain what the relationship means. That means employee and department will take means employee works for department. If you take employee and department with the relationship manages, will take employee manages department. Here the role of the employee is one is worker, another role is manager. Next, we'll see the constraints on binary relationship types. Already we told binary relationship type means two entities are involved in that relationship. Okay, so here we are having the two types of constraints are specified. One is cardinality ratio, another one is participation. Cardinality ratio means for a binary relationship specifies maximum number of relationship instances that an entity can participate in. Maximum number of instances, relationship instances are participating in the relationship. So there are four types of cardinality ratios in the binary relationship: 1 to 1, 1 to many, many to 1, many to many. 1 to 1 will take means that one employee and department will take, the relationship is manages means one employee manages one department. So in the both the entities, only one entity is participating in that relationship. And 1 to n means one employee manages one employee manages n departments. So that is called as 1 to n. N to n means n employees works for one department, and m to n means n employees works for n projects. So at a time more than one employee will works for more than one project. So this is called as m to n, that is many to many relationship. So you should be clear about 1 to 1, one employee manages one department. 1 to n, n employees works for one department. N to 1, n employees works for one project. M to n, m employees works for n number of projects. That means more than one employees works for one project. At the same, each project will be having more than one people. Next is participation. Participation constraint specifies whether the existence of an entity depends on its being related to another entity via the relationship type. So that means, suppose we will take employee and department. Employee works for department. The complete employee community works for a department. So that is called as total participation. Completely all the employees are participating in the relationship type works for. But if you take employee and that is a department, and the relationship is managers, means among that employee community only very few employees will be the managers. So that is called as partial participation. So the there is no in that total participation, if that one entity is not exist, the complete thing is the relationship itself, it won't be there. So that is called as that existency. Okay. So that's all about the basic concepts of entities, attributes, relationships, and the different constraints, structural constraints used in the ER model. Thank you.